Imagine surviving a war, getting released from prison, and deciding, you know what? I'm going to build a jail cell in my backyard and lock myself in it for the next 14 years. Sounds absurd, right? But that's exactly what General Hitoshi Imamura did. Not a metaphor, not a figure of speech. He literally constructed a wooden prison behind his house, complete with bars and the lock, and then voluntarily became his own prison. Why? Guilt? Honor? And the world's worst retirement plan? Let's dive into the mind bending story of a general who chose a cell over a couch. From battlefield commander to backyard convict. Before he became Japan's most unconventional inmate, Hitoshi Imamura was a top tier military man. A graduate of Japan's elite military academies, he rocketed through the ranks to become a general during World War II. Imamura commanded Japanese forces in Southeast Asia, including the Dutch East Indies, now Indonesia. On paper, he was decorated, respected officer, but in reality, things got dark fast. Under his watch, Japanese troops committed brutal atrocities against civilians. To be fair, Imamura wasn't the worst of the bunch. He was reportedly more lenient than some of his peers, discouraging the worst excesses. But when you're in charge, you're still responsible. And when Japan lost the war, that responsibility came knocking. War crimes and a sentence that didn't stick. After Japan surrendered, Imamura was hauled into court and tried for war crimes. The verdict? Guilty. The sentence? 10 years behind bars. But in a twist that would haunt him for the rest of his life, he only served 5. He walked out of prison early, a free man. But freedom didn't sit right with him. Maybe it was survivor's guilt. Maybe it was the nagging feeling that justice hadn't been fully served. Whatever it was, Imamura decided that 5 years wasn't enough. So, what did he do? He built himself a prison, locking himself up the DIY penitentiary. In 1954, Imamura announced that he was going to serve the remaining 5 years of his sentence and then some, on his own terms. He wasn't just going to finish his time, he was going to add 9 more years, making it a grand total of 14 years of self-imposed punishment. And this wasn't some symbolic gesture. Imamura had a wooden jail cell built in his backyard in Tokyo. It was small, sparse, and locked from the outside. Each day, he stuck to a strict monastic routine. Simple meals, hours of quiet reflection, and zero contact with the outside world unless someone really insisted. To the Japanese press, it was like watching Shakespearean tragedy unfold in real time. Was this honor? Was this madness? Was it a PR stunt that got wildly out of hand? The public reaction? Hero or head case? Some people admired Imamura's sense of honor. After all, how many war criminals voluntarily extended their sentence and locked themselves away? Others thought he'd lost his mind, that he was a man unraveling under the weight of his own conscience. But Imamura never explained himself. He never granted interviews, never wrote a memoir, never tried to justify his decision. He just sat in that cell, year after year, a prisoner of his own making. 14 years later, the final release. By the time Imamura finally stepped out of his homemade prison in 1968, Japan had moved on. The war was a distant memory and the country had rebuilt itself. And Imamura was just an old man with a complicated past and a self-imposed sentence no one quite knew what to make of. He died in 1968, quietly and without fanfare. He never cashed in on his story. No book deal, no talk shows, no redemption arc. Just a man who felt he owed a debt and chose to pay it in the most excruciating way possible. A legacy of bars and regret. Today, Imamura's story remains one of the strangest and most haunting in military history. Was he a man trying to atone for his sins, a soldier who couldn't let go of the war, or just someone who believed the true justice couldn't be handed down by a court? It had to come from within. Whatever the reason, one thing is clear. Imamura built himself a prison and stayed in it because sometimes the harshest sentences aren't the ones handed down by a judge. They're the ones you impose on yourself. Would you be this honorable to actually subject yourself into confinement all by yourself voluntarily? I don't think I will ever be, but if there's any, I'm not surprised that it's actually a Japanese who's done it. They have this such a high level of high standards when it comes to dignity and honor. That's what they live by. That's for them more important than life itself, and that's scary and also admirable at the same time. I would love to hear your thoughts. Leave them in the comment section below. As always, you can say what it is that you want to say. Just please do so respectfully. Also, please follow me on X, also on IG, and on Patreon. We have a vibrant community in there. Please join us in our many, many discussions. And if you can, please like the video, subscribe, and hit that notification button. Share the video if you can. That's really helping my channel. Till next time.